Greetings and welcome into the Whatcom Preps podcast. This is episode 254, a special installment, if you will, as we have a special guest. He is Nooksack Valley's all-time leader in virtually every passing category and the newest member of the Los Angeles Chargers. It's Casey Bauman. Casey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Yeah, you bet. So it's crazy. We go back a little ways. You've had a interesting last 5-6 weeks or so. Um, so let's talk about uh, how did you find out that everything was happening with the Los Angeles Chargers?
Yeah, well, I mean, the last couple months have been pretty nuts. Go back a couple months ago, my season was done in December, and I didn't know if I was gonna keep playing ball, you know. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm finishing up my master's degree, so that's been interesting too. And then I had an agent. I was fortunate enough to have an agent reach out to me. And he had recruited me through he had a connection through the NFL guys. So my family and I decided we were going to keep the training going. So I went down to Denver and did my combine prep training for the last couple months in January. And and then you have pro days and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to go to University of Minnesota pro day. And I was able to play well there and get a little bit of interest. And then, after that, you just kind of build the relationships with the NFL guys and continue talking and seeing where they're at with you. So, yeah, I was able to, I was fortunate enough to talk to, some teams and get some interest there and build some relationships. And then, draft day comes along and obviously I had no expectations of getting drafted, but it's fun to see everything unfold, right? It's the NFL. You never know. You just never know anything because, they like to tell you what you like to hear a little bit, and you just never know. So I had talked to some teams along the way, and I thought I had an idea what was going to go on, and it might not have gone that way. So on Saturday, my I was back and forth with my agent, talking. We were talking to a bunch of teams, and we were just blessed enough that the Chargers, believed in me, and they gave me that opportunity, and it was a pretty special moment for me and my family, just because the last 6 years of college have been interesting for me, and not have gone they haven't gone exactly as I would have hoped.
Right.
And it just to get that call and have that opportunity and kind of share that moment with my family. It was pretty special. So, I'm really fortunate and really blessed to be in this position, and it was a pretty fun day.
Yeah, I know a lot of people up in Whatcom County were super excited. All of a sudden, social media is blowing up. I'm getting text messages. It was crazy. I wanted to reach out, but I didn't want to. I was like, everyone's reaching out to them. I'll bug them later. It's really cool. I got my Chargers jersey on, man. I'm super pumped for you.
I appreciate,
Um,
love it.
yeah, we're really excited. Now we're gonna go back a little bit in this chronological order here and talk about when did you start playing football? Do you remember what grade you were in?
Well, first year of tackle football is third grade.
Okay.
So we started that in third grade, and I just kind of never looked back.
Were you a quarterback right away?
No, so well, I think in third grade a little bit maybe. I played a lot of receiver. Even up until high school, I played a lot of receiver when I was younger.
Yeah.
Even my sophomore year of high school, first three games I played receiver because there was another guy playing quarterback. So I didn't really fully, play quarterback full time up until my sophomore year of high school. So yeah, it was interesting. Just an interesting path to get to this place.
Yeah. Playing receiver, does that help you as a quarterback? So because you kind of understand what they're having to go through and stuff like that, did that help you a little bit?
I think so. It kind of makes it playing receiver definitely it as a quarterback, it gives you that perspective that that's just not that easy. So
Yeah, right.
tend to I'm a little more I understand those guys, and I understand because I dropped a few passes in my career, and getting open and catching the ball on the run, it's a hard thing to do. So and it helps just to understand those guys mindset and stuff like that a little bit. So
Right.
I mean, I'm thankful to have have played multiple positions just because it gives you multiple perspectives, you know.
I covered you in high school, saw you play three different sports. Did you play basketball and baseball growing up as well?
Yeah, yeah, I played all three sports my entire life.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, I think that helps a lot too.
yeah,
I really encourage people to do that just because, staying active is obviously great, and then, just being an athlete helps you become more athletic, right?
right.
And I really think that doing all three of those things helped me become more athletic and helped my overall athleticism. So,
Yeah. Um, so as a freshman, you're at Nooksack Valley, and the quarterback at that time is Tanner Meyer.
yeah.
He's putting up huge numbers. Coach's son, awesome kid. What do you remember about watching him play quarterback?
Yeah, Tanner's great. He's awesome. Tanner was one of my good buddies. We had actually a weightlifting class my freshman year, and he's a senior, so we used to hang out in that. And Coach Meyer's a coach, so they're great. But I mean, that kid, he just run around and make plays. He's just a ball player. He, he was not the biggest guy in the world, but you wouldn't know it watching him play. I mean, kid's tough as nails, and he's just he'd run around and make stuff shake. So I mean, it was great to watch those guys and kind of learn from him a little bit. And he just had the quarterback mindset.
Yeah.
He was never rattled, and he didn't let anything affect him, and he just went out there, and he's what you call a ball player. So it was fun to watch him play.
Yeah, he broke all the school records that you went on to then break. Most, attempts, completions, yards, touchdowns, as well as the lowest interception percentage, which is really impressive. Being able to throw that many times and not throw that many interceptions. Um, you were talking about your sophomore year. You started at receiver. You end up becoming the starting quarterback. There was a game that year at Mount Baker that you might not want to talk about. Jed Schleimer breaks the Whatcom County all-time record rushes for 521 yards, but you broke a record in that game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, was it pass attempts?
It was completions. I think and attempts. I think it was both of them.
Okay.
You completed 37 passes in that game, and that's the most still to this day in the Whatcom County game for. I mean, it was a shootout, right? It was back and forth. They were running, you were passing. What do you remember about that game?
Yeah, well, I remember that we had trouble stopping that kid running the ball, and he was pretty darn good running back. And we kind of had to throw the ball. We didn't really have a choice there because I mean they'd get the ball and just scores, and
Right.
we were running out of time, so we had to throw the crap out of the ball. But it was always fun playing those guys. Their coach is a great guy, and they're a well coached team, and yeah, Jed is running the ball, and he's hard to tackle, man. That's a big guy playing running back, and he's moving.
Yeah.
And it was a fun game. Those games were always great, when you can go back and forth. And I'm an offensive guy, so I like a lot of offense. So
Right.
it was a good time.
Uh, Then you go to your junior year, and at your class, a lot of you guys started varsity pretty young. I know Kirk Veldman was starting on the offensive line as a freshman. A lot of you guys were playing as sophomores full time. Um, what do you remember about your junior year, kind of going into that and kind of going, okay, now we have some experience under our belts?
Yeah, well, I mean, our sophomore year wasn't great.
Right.
I remember a lot of that, and we were young, and a lot of us are young for even our grade. So it was we had a lot of maturing to do, and just kind of it's different. You play JV your whole life, but and when you're younger, varsity football is different, right?
Yeah.
You get there and you're under the lights, and you got some fans for the first time, and it's different when you're out there. And so I think that experience, just getting that experience our sophomore year was really good for us. And then playing together, right? You got to play with the guys that you're playing with. So
Yeah.
it gaining that that trust, that camaraderie, and being able to have that experience, I think was good for our junior year, and we made some good strides our junior year.
Yeah.
It didn't go as we would liked, of course, but it was good. It was great to play our sophomore year and gain that a level of trust, and then keep it going to our junior year. So it was exciting.
Over here at Whatcom Preps, one of our favorite guys is TJ Ackerman, one of your assistant coaches. So set the record straight. Who's taller, you or TJ?
That's a good question. I don't know. Oh, I think I have to. I think I got him.
Really?
He might say otherwise, but I think I got him. I might have grown maybe an inch since high school, but TJ's great. I love those guys, and I we've been friends forever, family friends, and so I'm super excited for Brady and the success he's having right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just so awesome to see.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Big expectations going into your senior year. There's a lot of but you know, the league was so great even. I mean, Meridian goes on to the state championship game. It's a really, really tough league. You guys had that play-in game, I think. The final score was something like 56-48. Another offensive explosion. I know you went off in that game. Like you said earlier, it probably didn't go as expected, but there were some really great moments your senior year.
Yeah, there was. It was, yeah, like you mentioned, didn't go as planned, and I wish some things would look different because we had a really good team and we had a lot of good players and that's just the way it went, and that's nobody's fault. Yeah, that playing game that was fun. It was fun to kick LC out there and let us go on. I like doing that. I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of fun moments, and high school football, you just never get that back, right? You never get back varsity football, and playing with those guys and win or lose, we had a great time doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was great to play with those guys and it didn't go as planned and we wish we could have gone further, but that's life. That's how it goes. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Everyone loves reminiscing on their high school football days. I mean, obviously you've played at the higher levels and stuff, but there's something about the high school football where you're throwing to a guy that you've known forever or that you go to science class with. It's something really cool about it, right?
right, definitely. Yeah, I grew up with all those guys. We
Yeah.
played on the same youth sports team for years and years and years and we were family friends doing everything together. So I mean just yeah, doing that stuff in front of our community is great and having that success and it's a good time. It's a lot of fun.
You graduated with 65 touchdown passes thrown in your high school career to 12 different receivers. So we're going to play a little game here. You got to think about this. Can you name all 12 guys that you completed a touchdown pass to in high school?
Oh man. We'll say Michael O'Brien,
Yep.
Colton Couts,
Yep.
Austin O'Brien,
Yep.
Baylor Galley, Jordan Veening, Kyle Veldman, Evan Knightling.
Yep.
Um, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta think here. How many is that? How many did
That's seven. So you got seven of the 12. You got five more. And there might be a few that you only, got one or two to those guys, right? So
I? Oh man, I played a lot of football.
yeah, you did.
My career. It's I met a lot of people along the road. Boy, oh boy. Um, I gotta think here. So I got five more, really.
Yeah.
Wait, my sophomore year. Oh, who did I? Oh, Trey Silva.
Yep.
Can't forget about him. That's definitely through a couple of him. Who else? Who else? Boy, boy,
I,
this.
I can give them to you if you want. And then you're gonna go, oh man, but you ready? Or do you
Uh,
want to keep thinking?
yeah, let's hear him. Let's hear 'em.
Okay. Michael Jackson,
Oh yeah, Mike. I forgot about Big Mike. Yeah.
Joe McNeely.
Really? I threw one to Joe?
Yeah, when you guys switched position, he ended up playing some running back, and I think you just dumped one to him. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Jeremy Dykes.
Oh yeah, I totally knew that.
Yeah, and Ryan Veening as well.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I guess.
He might have been a sophomore when you were a senior.
Yeah, okay. I guess I didn't know if he caught a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that tells you how many good teammates you had and how fun it was. I mean, it's always fun playing these games. I played a game with Jake Locker where it was named that locker, which one returned 4 kickoffs for a touchdown in one year. He thought it was his dad or his one of his uncles, and it ended up being him.
Really?
So yeah, so you just never know. I love playing these little games.
Yeah.
Uh, Here's something kind of fun. Tell me about long snapping in high school.
Yeah, I actually loved long snap, and it was so great. I mean, the rule in high school, you can't touch the long snapper, right?
Right, right.
So I would snap the ball like I played quarterback. I didn't do it two-hand. I just threw it back there with one hand, and then it's free release.
Yeah.
And so I just ran down the field and try to make a play. And I just love football, and I love I love contact, and I love making plays. So I really enjoyed it actually, and it was a good time. And I still actually throughout my college, I would tell those guys, yeah, I played long snapper in high school. I could do it. I could do it. And everyone would laugh. Everyone would laugh. Nobody believed me, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was a good time.
I saw a few times, like, you're absolutely right because the center gets to go. They don't have to wait for the kick.
Right.
And there were times when I could see the fear in the punt returner's eyes when a guy twice his size is coming at him that's just as athletic as he is. And those were fun plays to watch. I'm sure you hated to have to punt, but you were like, you know what? I get to make a play here.
Yeah, exactly. I do hate to punt. You're right about that, but I like to play football, so I like to stay on the field. So I enjoyed that a lot. It was fun.
You played a handful of defense as well, but it seemed like your senior year they were trying to keep you off the field defensively to save you for offense. But when it really called for it, you were like, get me in there. I'm going to play some outside linebacker. I'm going to make some plays, get some interceptions, cause some fumbles. It looked like you had a good time playing some defense.
Yeah, I did. I love playing defense. Yeah, it wasn't really my decision to not be out there my senior year, and
Right.
I wish I could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed playing defense, and like I mentioned, I just love football.
Right.
I like to play ball, and I in playing quarterback, it helps a lot to play defense, right? It helps a lot to play linebacker, and I kind of have that mindset, and I'm able to think what they're thinking. So
Right.
I think that helped a little bit when I was able to get on the field. Yeah, wish I could have played a little bit more my senior year, but yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed that.
Um, Talk about how the kind of the recruiting went at that time. You're going through all that stuff. There's a lot of eyeballs on you. I remember that I met Brandon Huffman at the game at Meridian when you guys were there playing your senior year. He was there to see both you and Simon play. And that was the night I met Rylan Spencer in person.
Yeah.
And just how that all went. What did you enjoy about the recruiting process? And how did you come to your final decision?
Yeah, the recruiting process is funny, and especially it's really funny if you go to Nooksack Valley, just because not a whole lot of people go up there, go up north. And now I think more and more college coaches are realizing that there's actually some talent in Whatcom County, or people are coming up here, which is great, it's fantastic. But when I was in high school, and especially for quarterback, people aren't, really looking for quarterbacks in Whatcom County, I don't think.
Right.
But it was good. We kind of had to go and get in front of some eyes to start the recruiting process. So, my dad and I hopped in the car and drove across the country, went to University of Idaho, went to Eastern's camp first, University of Idaho, then Missoula, University of Montana, then Montana State. And I was fortunate enough to get offers from Idaho and Montana State on the spot at those camps, and that was kind of what jump started my recruiting. Just because nobody came up, nobody came up to Nooksack, and it's kind of hard to get recruited. So going to those camps was, that helped me get. It kind of started my recruitment, and then at the time, I don't know if you know too much about Moscow, but it was a pretty easy decision for me. Montana State's a great program, and they had a great culture going. So it was a pretty easy decision for me to pick Montana State. And then all those guys helped a ton. Brandon and Rylan, those guys are great. They're fantastic guys, and they know what they're talking about. So those guys, and they're helping with their exposure. It all helps a lot. So. And then you just meet a ton of people along the way. Like I would have never met Brandon and Rylan, and I'm so thankful that I did because they're awesome. So, it was a great experience. I I like to think, I like to tell myself, if I lived maybe in California or something like that, it would have looked different for me. But
Sure.
I'm thankful, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So it was, the recruiting process was interesting, but I'm sitting here today, so I can't really complain.
There was a video that went viral when you were in high school playing basketball that I want to talk about a little bit that maybe some people watching this don't remember, or they might jog their memory. But you guys are playing at Linden Christian, if I remember correctly, and you took a pass and went baseline, and tell us what happened.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the best basketball player, but I was big, so that kind of helped a little bit. But I just went up for the routine two-hand dunk, and backboard fell off. It just kind of fell away, and it wasn't as cool because I think we were losing the game by maybe 30 points. So it wasn't as cool at the time. And I think Cole Badgema probably had 30 points, and he was just doing us in. So it was a cool experience, to do that. It was a fun thing. Would have liked to do a little bit better in the game, but that was fun. It was fun. And then, that was on Sports Center and stuff. So it was a
Yeah.
cool moment. Cool moment that everyone, I mean, and still people don't believe me, right? To this day. People don't believe me. I'll tell them. They'll see it or something and they don't believe it's me. So it's pretty funny.
Oh, it was, I guarantee it was you. Yeah, it was crazy. And they had to, did you guys have to not postpone, but you had to go to another gym to finish the game or something like that?
Yeah, so we walked over across the street to the middle school and finished the game up. And yeah, that was interesting too. All the fans had to pack it up and pack the gym out and watch it in the middle school. And like I said, and that was I think in the third quarter maybe, and we were losing pretty badly.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get that thing over with. But it was fun. It was a good moment. It was cool.
Linden Christian always really strong in basketball, and nothing's changed since you graduated high school. I'll tell you that. Um, so I'm gonna do another little game here. No, you don't have to think too much this time, but I'm just gonna throw out five different names, and then you just kind of tell me about recollection or kind of whatever comes to mind. The first one is actually a group, the Veldman brothers.
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw Kirk on Saturday. He's coaching baseball.
Yeah,
Coach baseball for Linden Christian. So I saw him, which was great. But I mean, those guys, those are just two great kids that they'll do anything, and they have the best attitudes you can ever ask for, right? Like, I mean, you met those guys. They're just team guys, and Kyle, great receiver, great linebacker. I mean, they're great to play with. And like I mentioned, we grew up playing baseball our entire lives together and all the sports. And I mean, we got pictures playing basketball when we were 10 years old. So
yeah.
playing with those guys throughout the career is awesome. And we're their dad's great and we were all family friends. So I'm pretty disappointed to see them move over to the LC side, but they're great and they're great guys and I love playing with those guys. So it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Luke Winter.
Yeah, yeah. Luke is actually one of my best friends in high school. And he's great also. He was, we did a lot together and he's a lot of fun. That's a guy that you are thankful that he's on your team and you don't want to play against. And his dad had him lifting weights since he was 10 years old and he's a beast. He was a beast and he was great, it's super fun. We just had the best times playing together. It was every time we went out there on the field, it didn't really feel like, a high pressure football game. It was just like we were hanging out and just playing ball and he's great. So
Yeah.
it was awesome playing with him.
Jordan Veening.
Yeah, Jordan, just having a 6'6" receiver, I mean, you can't hope for nothing better than that.
Right.
I would, we'd get within the 20-yard line. I just huck it up to Jordan. He'd pretty much catch it every time. You got a guy that's going to play basketball at Division I school playing receiver. So I
Yeah.
mean, what more can you ask for? And he's hilarious. He's great, right? Same thing. Grew up with those guys. Our moms actually rode together at Washington State. So I mean, I've known him since we were a year old, right?
Right.
And great. I mean, he's awesome. And having that guy at receiver just go up and catch anything. I mean, I don't know how many times I would just huck it up to Jordan and he comes down with it. So it was a lot of fun.
I got a really quick funny story with you and Jordan. you might remember this going into your senior year. I wrote up the preview for the season for the Nooksack Valley preview, and I think it was like the day before their week one game at Blaine. And I said something that you led the team with 4 interceptions on defense the year before. And I get a message from Jordan saying, actually, I had 4, he had 3. And I just laughed and I said, okay, I'm sorry. I'll make the edit. I go to the game in the second half and he intercepts a ball on the sideline, runs straight over to me and gives me the ball. And he goes, that's one. And I, and I just started laughing because you're absolutely right. Like he's a funny guy, and it was so perfect the moment, right? And it was that was really cool. And I know you guys had a special connection with you could just throw
Yeah,
it up to him, right?
yeah, that's Jordan for you. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
We grew up together. I mean, we're still good friends. I still talk to him all the time.
yeah.
He's awesome. He's pretty funny. So I'm not too surprised about that. That's
It
hilarious.
was pretty good. Simon Burkett.
Yeah, Simon, I mean, him and I, those games that we played against each other, man, those are
Yeah,
fun games, you know. And that dude is a good player. And we, our families got close because we would go down to Seattle and train to do our quarterback stuff together. So, I think we got a picture of me and him both asleep in the back of the car
yeah,
that his mom took. But he's awesome, he's going down and training, building that relationship with their family and stuff. It was so much fun, and they're great. Their family's awesome, and then our games together. I mean, I remember our senior year when we sold out that game against Meridian. I think they were ranked maybe second in the state, and we were fourth, something like that. I don't know.
yeah,
But I mean, those are so much fun, right? Just seeing another guy, especially at our level, at the 1A level, that can compete and play at the level that he played. I mean, it's just so impressive, and it was a lot of fun, going back and forth with him, especially with our relationship off the field. So it was
yeah.
great. It was awesome.
And the fifth name is Rob Meyer.
Yeah, Coach Meyer's awesome. He's great, and I'm thankful to have him throughout my time. I'm glad that he's sticking around the game.
Yeah,
That's awesome. But yeah, Coach Meyer's a great guy, and it was fun to play for him.
yeah. Um, so you go to Montana State, and I tell you what, it's like, and for what I do, I'm focusing on what's going on in high school. It's like, okay, another class has graduated. And all of a sudden, I turn on the TV and you're starting at quarterback against Texas Tech on the road, Big 12 team, 60,000 people in the stands. And I'm jacked up. I can't imagine what you were feeling.
Yeah, yeah, that being my first start ever in college football, that's an experience. I'll tell you that much. They do the thing at Texas Tech where when you run out, the opposing team they hurl tortillas at you. So we got, bombarded with tortillas and stuff. But man, that's an eye-opening experience, I tell you what,
Yeah.
Tyler. And
Yeah.
and they had a linebacker named Jordan Brooks who went in the first round.
Yeah.
And he actually, I don't know if he still plays on the Seahawks, but he did for a long time.
Right.
And man, that speed, those guys, it's just different game, it's
Yeah.
different. And me being 19 years old, my first start ever, I was I was pretty nervous, and it was and also, I mean, those guys are just flying around. I've never been hit so hard in my life. Jordan, there was a play, I got a picture, but there was a play where Jordan Brooks came up the middle and we kind of missed a blocking assignment, and he hit me so hard. I let the ball go and he hit me in the ribs so hard. And it's kind of my welcome to college football moment. I got up and I was like, okay, well, here we go. Here we go. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all like I said. It's the journey. I've been played a lot of football, and that being my first game was pretty interesting. But it was a cool experience, and thankful to say I did it.
Yeah. So tell me about your journey from there and how how you transferred and just kind of how everything went from there.
Yeah, so that was my redshirt freshman year that I was named the
Right.
starter, and I just wasn't coming from Nooksack and stuff like that. It's a lot different, and I was a young kid, and I didn't really know how to handle that quite yet, and so I got benched 3 games into that year. I started 3 games and then got benched, and They replaced me with another kid named Tucker Rovig, who still one of my best friends to this day. He's awesome. So, being 19 years old, not playing great, getting benched in front of 25,000 fans, and people aren't too happy with you. That's an interesting feeling, as a 19-year-old. So I had to fight through that a little bit, kind of gather myself and figure out, who I really was. And so, I just tried to be the best teammate I possibly could. And then the next year was COVID, and we didn't play any games. So, just practicing the entire year. And then they had brought in another D1 guy who won the job, so I was the backup. And then the year after, we ended up going to the national championship, and I had season-ending surgery like a couple games into the season. I was playing garbage time, and I got tackled, broke my thumb, and had a really bad
Mm.
concussion, so I had to have surgery on my thumb. And then our starter ended up transferring in the middle of the season. So, I might have played a little bit, but I had surgery. So they ended up starting a freshman named Tommy, who really, really good player. He lights it up, and great kid. He's one of my good friends still. And so it was about time for me to get a fresh start at that point. And I played my 4 years. I graduated, I got my degree, and with the COVID stuff, I still had 2 years of eligibility, and it was kind of, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. 4 years of college football is a long time, and college football is not easy. It's a big demand, and especially going to school and stuff like that. I didn't really know if I wanted to keep going, but talking to my parents and stuff like that, they wanted me to get that master's degree because I had 2 years, so I might as well. And so I ended up transferring, and at that point, I just wanted to go somewhere that I knew I could play, and I would trust the people around me, and they had a good culture and stuff like that. So I had a couple other FCS offers in the transfer portal, but I ended up going to the D2 route with Augustana just because, the people there were great. Their head coach is awesome. The culture they got is great. They're a high faith team there, and that's a big deal for me. So, it was awesome. It was kind of great for me. I kind of found my love a little bit for the game again. Unfortunately, my first year there, about 4 games in, I separated my left shoulder. So I was dealing with that, and then it kind of couldn't get any worse. So I was dealing with I was taking cortisone shots and going out there and playing, and yeah, that's not very fun. I was in a lot of pain, a lot of pain. So finished out that year, and it didn't go great for us. I wasn't playing awesome, and then I had surgery that off season in January on my shoulder, and then this last year I was able to play a full year of college football for the first time in my life. And I think I did what I believe I can do, and I think I played pretty well, and um, we won our conference outright for the first time in like 70 years, which was awesome for us. And then we ended up going to Colorado and losing to the number one team in the country, which that's they're a pretty good team, so can't be too upset about that. But my college career was pretty interesting. It didn't go exactly as I would have hoped, right? And
Right.
but that's all part of the journey, and I can't complain because I'm sitting here right now. So I'm very blessed and very fortunate to be in this position.
Yeah. It's and being able to go to Los Angeles with the Chargers, I think it's a interesting thing with kind of a whole new coaching staff. You just never know, right? Have you talked to Coach Harbaugh yet?
A little bit. I met him on the phone,
Yeah,
not extensively,
yeah,
because they're doing their own OTAs right now with the team still. So
sure.
I've had an opportunity to talk to with their quarterback coach a lot.
Yeah.
He's great. He's fantastic. So, I'm really excited. And I've heard nothing but great things from everybody with about that staff and the people there. So, I'm super excited to get down there and just learn from anybody and anything I can because I got a lot to learn, and I think my best football is in front of me. So, I'm excited to get down there and get it going.
What do you do better as a quarterback than the average NFL quarterback? What's your biggest strength?
I think my biggest strength is I like to think my arm. I think I have the ability to make any throw on the field at any time from any position. Um, and that's something that's really important because at the next level you got to make those throws. You have to. And so I think I have that ability, and that benefits me a lot. Also just being a little bigger than the average quarterback. I think I have a little bit. That vision helps me because I'm able to see the field. Those linemen are pretty big at the next level, and stuff. I think me being a taller guy, I think that helps a little bit.
Was there ever any discussion when you went to college that a coach looked you up and down and said, you know what? I'm thinking tight end. Was there anything like that, or was it? Oh, tell me about that.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's been telling me that my entire life.
Yeah,
Even through high school, I got some assistant coaches that think I need to make that move to tight end, and it's and then in college, everybody they see a tall guy a tall athletic guy that can put some weight on, and they want to make him into a tight end. Everybody thinks that, right?
right.
So I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty good to make that as a quarterback
Absolutely.
and uh and sign that deal as a quarterback just because yeah, I've been told that my entire life that oh, you'd be a really good tight end, you and stuff like that. Well, I think I'd be a pretty good quarterback too. Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks they know, and everybody likes to tell you things. So I'm happy I stuck with it. And I just think that's a testament to hard work and stuff like that, and being persistent. So yeah, I've heard that throughout college. And they actually, when I was not starting at Montana State, there was a little package for me where I caught the ball a little bit. Never got called in the game, surprisingly, really surprisingly.
Yeah.
But they tried.
Yeah. Do you know what jersey number you're gonna have yet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll find out. I report for minicamp on Thursday here in a couple of days, so I'll find out then. But yeah, I'm not sure. That's not the most of my worries right now. I'm
Sure.
not too worried about the number. I think whatever they give me, I'll be okay with. But yeah, I'll find out here soon.
As long as it's a quarterback number, right? They're gonna put like an 87 on. You're gonna say, "We, how about this young man? You're gonna play tight end for us."
Well, Tyler, I think at this point, I'll do whatever they ask me. I at this point, I played my quarterback, and that's the plan, to keep playing quarterback. But if they have
Right.
other things in mind, whatever they want, I'll be okay doing it.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Casey, for joining us. I know you got to do some workouts and stuff like that. Oh, before we go, tell me about the possibility of CFL. There's a lot of this talk about, that you would be a great fit up there. Uh, Tell me about why that is.
Well, yeah. So actually, just recently, we found out that my mom was born in Canada, so I was able to get my citizenship up there. So I'm dual citizen, and then I was able to go to the CFL Combine. And that was kind of a late development, so I wasn't too familiar with the game and stuff like that. And the ball is a little bit different up there, So my first day at the CFL Combine was the first time I had ever thrown one of their balls.
Yeah,
So it was, kind of a learning experience for me a little bit, just because it's a different game. There's another player on the field. The
right.
field is huge. It's huge. It's I don't know. I think it's like 12 yards wider on both sides, maybe.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that, but it's a
yeah,
lot bigger. So those field outs, you better throw the ball because they're running away from you.
right.
But I think just talking to those guys, like I mentioned, I think I have an arm to play at that level because the field's bigger and
Yep.
got to throw the crap out of the ball, and I can kind of throw the ball a little bit. So they like doing that. And then just being athletic and being a quarterback that's a Canadian, as well, is a big deal up there because of their rule. You have to have 7 Canadians on the field at once.
Right.
So if and a lot of the times the quarterbacks are American up there, so that helps me a lot being a Canadian quarterback. So that's just obviously the plan is to make it down here yep, yep, stay down there, and that's my plan. But I'll be really thankful if nothing works out, and I have to go up there. And it's a great league. It's people aren't too familiar with the CFL, I don't think, just because it's not as popular down here and stuff like that. But I mean, it's the step down from the NFL, and those guys, it's a lot of good players that have played in the NFL and can play in the NFL, and it's really competitive ball, and the fans up there are great. So it's a really fun league, and I had the opportunity to meet a bunch of people up there and reporters and stuff like that. So, if that were to be the case, I would love to, and I'd be extremely excited. So,
It's an exciting game with a lot of passing, only 3 downs instead of 4. So
right.
it is get the ball and huck it and go. And I mean, we all are just hoping for success for you in Whatcom County, obviously, whether it's in the NFL or the CFL, and pretty cool. And TJ Ackerman, CFL legend. He played with the Toronto Argonauts, as we like to say, all 5 games that he played. So uh but again, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're super busy, so we look forward to watching your journey and reporting on it, and hopefully to hear back soon, and you kind of tell us how things are going and being a guest picker again at some point. And we love watching you play. It's a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate your time, Tyler, and it's been fun. Seeing the last couple of years, we've known each other forever, so this is fun. I'm excited. I'm thankful that we can do this. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.